of devotional service and the different moods, the different feelings, the different states that the soul goes through on the way to developing pure devotion. And these are all discussed in the Nectar of Devotion. And so after we finish going through Nectar of Instruction, in a few days we'll take up that Nectar of Devotion again with part 2, the second wave of devotion.
There's a question from Bruce. Babaji, in your Perfect Body podcast, you preached about crystallization. But how does a person pinpoint the cause of this spiritual stagnation?
It's identification. Crystallization means that we develop up to a certain point. And then we think, okay, that's enough. I got it. That's it. I don't need to go any further. And we stop. And of course, this is always a mistake because the process of devotional service is eternal. It goes on forever. It doesn't ever stop. We don't ever stop advancing in devotional service. Even when a devotee attains his original spiritual identity, his original relationship with Kṛṣṇa, he doesn't stop growing. It keeps up eternally, keeps on getting better and better and better. So if we reach a point in our devotional service and we think, that's okay, I got it. And I tell this story in the podcast about my friend from high school. I had a friend in high school, a fellow musician. And she was the most popular girl in school. In her senior year, she went to the prom with the captain of the football team, you know, the whole bit, right? And of course, then I went off to college and music school and, you know, went out to the West Coast and became a devotee and then went to India. And, you know, then I came back from India and I was recuperating from illness, so I had a lot of time on my hands. So I thought just for the heck of it, I would look up some of my old friends. And I looked up this gal. And what's she doing? She's on welfare with 2 kids in a seedy apartment in New Jersey. And so I called her up and I asked her, what happened? Basically, she married the captain of the football team. Everybody went off to college and like that. All their friends left town. They were completely isolated. He was working in a gas station, pumping gas, and gradually then started drinking and getting angry and beating her up and stuff like this, and then she divorced him. So this is what happens when a person crystallizes, you see. They had it all in high school. They were the most popular kids in school in their senior year in high school. And they thought, this is it. This is it. This is perfection. I don't need to go beyond this. I don't need to grow beyond this level. We've got it. This is it. Let's get married, raise a family. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they crystallized it. See? They said, this is all we need to do. This is as far as we need to go. We don't need to go to college. We don't need to go away and spend all that money like all these other kids are doing. Nah. We'll just stay right here and we'll be happy ever after. Well, what went wrong? Because the world doesn't ever stop for anyone. Time never stops. Change never stops. Either you keep growing or you get left behind. So what happens, and I saw this happen to a lot of my godbrothers, they reached a certain point in their devotional service, in their development, and then they said, okay, that's good enough. They were on top. They were big, big leaders. They were big temple presidents, big GBCs, big, big whatevers, you know, with thousands of followers and all this stuff. And they thought, okay, this is good. Now I got what I want. This is cool. I'm there. I'm not going to advance anymore. I'm not going to make that extra effort to develop further. They crystallized. And it's always a mistake to crystallize. Always, 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 always. You have to keep going. You have to keep growing, keep learning. Don't stop. Don't ever be satisfied. I know it's a cliche, but we should do continuous improvement. Constantly. Find something new to learn. Something better, something you can do better, something you can improve, some area you can grow. I hope I never stop learning. I hope I never stop growing, improving. Even if I'm on my deathbed and my body is falling apart, there's something I can learn. There's something more that I can know. Something more that I can experience. I can go deeper into devotional service. I can go farther, than I've ever gone before. I know. I can do it. Simply by wanting to. The key is desire. You have to want to grow. If you want to grow, Kṛṣṇa will show you a way. He'll say, here's something you can do. Here's some area. Here's some new thing you can learn. I mean, if nothing else, even if you're quadriplegic and you're lying there in bed, you can have somebody read to you Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and learn something new every day. There's no excuse. Or even if all you can do is chant, you can go deeper and deeper into chanting. I mean, the holy name is everything. Kṛṣṇa is there in his holy name. Kṛṣṇa and all of his potencies and energies are there in his holy name. Have you realized all that yet? Well, then you get busy. You can't stop. You can't say, oh, there's nothing more to know. There's nothing more to realize. I've done it all. No, you can never say, because Kṛṣṇa, let's say, even if it was possible for you to completely know Kṛṣṇa in this moment, then the next moment Kṛṣṇa would expand more beyond your knowledge, and you would have to catch up. We can never know Kṛṣṇa completely. Kṛṣṇa is unlimited. Even Ananta Shesha never catches up. And he's also an expansion of Kṛṣṇa. And he has millions and millions of mouths. And each one of them, he's glorifying the pastimes and qualities of Kṛṣṇa. And he never catches up. He never finishes his glorification. So this is eternal. This service is eternal. It's like, what are you doing for the rest of eternity? I hope you're not going to plan on taking bodies in this material world, because that's a drag. That's horrible. But we should plan that we're going to engage in devotional service. We should have a plan. Well, what we're going to do after this body. And submit that plan to Kṛṣṇa. We should have a desire. Where do I want to go after this body? What do I want to do after this body? What's going to be my service? What's going to be my engagement? What's going to be my form, my name, my dress, the place where I live? All these things. This is complete self-realization. This is complete knowledge. When you uncover your eternal identity, then you can form desires and plans and act on that identity. It's not just a static thing. Oh yes, now I know my real identity. You see, I can write it on this index card and file it away. No. No, this is real. More real than this material life, because there's no end. It's eternal. So once we know who we are in the spiritual world, then the next question is, okay, well now, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? How are we going to serve Kṛṣṇa? What's going to be our pastimes? What's going to be our service? If you haven't realized all these things, then you better get busy. Don't crystallize. Don't stop now. There's plenty to do, and there's so little time. Even if 2012 wasn't just around the corner, there's so little time. We're so short on time. Even if everything was completely peaceful and normal and everything was just going to stay the same and all like that. Still, there's very, very little time. Only 100 years of life maximum, very little time. There's so much to do, so much to learn, so much to realize. So get busy.
Question from David Lugan. Please help me understand how Jesus, an incarnation of Lord Brahma, was a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, when Srila Prabhupada said
he's going to ask that question.
that Lord Brahma is not a pure devotee, according to lecture number...
It depends on how you look. Sometimes he's a pure devotee, sometimes he's not a pure devotee. There's places, I mean, Srila Prabhupada ran Nitāyā out of Kṛṣṇa Balaram temple for suggesting that Lord Brahma